Assalamu alaikum. Please recite Allah salawat. So we will be beginning the Majalis with the recitation of Hadith al-Qisa by Brother Ali Raza. So I would like to invite him on the stage. Please recite Allah salawat. Please salawat. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عن جابر بن عبد الله أنصاره عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أوئذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيته بالكسى يماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله صلوات. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد عزمت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء صلوات الله محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم إنك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك أخاك تحت الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهم تحت الكساء صلوات وعلى محمد. فأقبل عندك ذلك أبو حسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله فقلت وعليك السلام
يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. وقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن أمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم، ها هو ماء ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل العلي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسيء وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء صلوات. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بزعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا هرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم. فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا صلوات. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء خمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال العمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيتي نبوتي ومادر الرسالة، هم فاطمة أبوها وبالوها وبنوها صلوات. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أحبي طائل الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهابت العامين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى، يخرجك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد عزينا لأن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذنوا لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله عليك السلام يا أمينة وحي الله إنه نعم قد عزمت لك فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لعبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا صلوات. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجسينا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرون هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شياطين ومحبين إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا ففاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة صلوات على محمد. فقال النبي صانعا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفى للرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرون هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبين وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله همه يمين ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله غمه لحيمين ولا طالب حاجة إلا وخذ الله حاجته لحيمين. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسوعنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة صلوات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك بحق محمد وأنت المحمود لحيمين وبحق العلي وأنت الأعلى وبحق الفاطمة وأنت الفاطر السماوات والأرض وبحق الحسن وأنت المحسن لحيمين وبحق الحسين وأنت الخاتم الإحسان لحيمين وبحق العامة تسعة الطاهرين من ذرية الحسين عليه السلام صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
Now I would like to invite Brother Sohaib Hassan for a poem. Salawat. Muharram devotional poetry about the morning. With the dim light of the crescent moon, the new year unfurls insidiously like black clouds of monsoon, casting shadows of doom and gloom, thick shades of black that drape the earth, writhing and bleeding as the wind brings images, a severed arm, a pierced throat, a headless body. O my Abbas, O my Ali Asghar, O my Hussein, dripping black blood like black gold, that energizes the rusty dead soul. The black garb of night, devoid of color and pleasure, hides the vibrant colors of truth, pure and untainted, only to be seen with the spirit of the eye, the spirit of the seeker seeking the truth. Truth in its gleaming armor faces the black beast in the Yazids, the blackened hearts of the Kabils, the blinding blackness of ignorance, The rare black rose of the desert gives up its precious petals to the winds. The fragrance drifting in the valleys and hills of time. The scent of the tuba tree. The scent of Yusuf's shirt. The scent of the poetry of Ali. The heavenly scent of pure divine beings. The banner falls with a loud crash, but the words like seeds scatter far and wide. The black fertile earth brings forth a celebrating of green of hope, celebrating green of hope. Truth after all, truth after Ali can never die. Salawat.
Now I would like to invite Brother Ayan and Shayan for a salam. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Please recite aloud salawat. Please recite aloud salawat. I would now like to invite Dr. Shiva to the member. Allahumma salli ala. Please recite aloud salawat.
Iltimas Surah Fatiha. Can we please recite Surah Fatiha for Almas Parveen, Munawwar Ali, Sayyid Jafar Rizvi, Sayyida Shahida Khatun, Munazza Batul, and Musaddiq Hussain के लिए एक सूरह फातिहा 3 दफा सूरतुल कुल हु अल्लाह बिस्मिल्लाह محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله على ما أنعم وله الشكر على ما ألهم والثناء بما قدم من عموم نعمة ابتداها وسبوغ لين نسداها وتمام منن أولاها جم عن العصا عددها ونع عن الجزاء مدها وتفاوت عن الإدراك أبدها ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خير المبشرين والمنذرين شفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وحبيب قلوبنا سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على عوج. Dearest Mu'mineen, Mu'minat, our young ones, we continue our discussion. I beg your pardon for the delay, but I'm coming from two Majalis and East End to West End and then back to East End. So I've been in the car for 3 hours or more since morning time. And I just want to say that our MC, Master of Ceremony, handled the delay very well, mashallah. And I'm so proud of our youth and how they've been managing the affairs, because this is one of the most important things that we do in our lives, Azadari. And to be able to recite the Fazail and the Masaib of the Ahlul Bayt is indeed a great gift and a blessing. And to see our next generation doing it shows me that we are passing on what was given to us from our parents, we are passing it on to the next ones. So for their sihat, for their salamti, for their rizq, for their iman, for all their worries to be removed, can we have a loud salawat for these young ones? Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Yesterday we stopped at the third planting of the seeds, and then finally the boat is built. As the boat is being built, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked Hazrat Nuh to build the boat on land. So the people were already mocking Hazrat Nuh. The disbelievers made fun of the believers. And they said, "You're building a boat and there's no water here. And what are you going to do with this boat?" He was building it on dry land. Imagine if, like, you start building a boat just outside over here in the parking lot. And as you're building a boat in the parking lot, the people ask you, "Why are you building a boat here?" And you say, "Well, a big flood is coming and then this boat is going to be in the water." People might not believe that. It might seem kind of strange. So people were making fun of Hazrat Nuh. But he kept on building his boat as per the instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he had a few helpers with him. There was a lady. She was an old lady, and she was a believer in Hazrat Nuh, and she believed in Allah. And she would come every morning with her bag because she believed so strongly that definitely the flood was coming, and she wanted to be ready. So she would pack her bag, everything she needed for the trip. Do you guys go on trips? When you go on trips, you pack what you need. Maybe you pack a tablet, or some potato chips, or a frisbee, or a football. She would pack her clothes and a few pieces of food, and she would put it in her bag, and she would come to where the boat was being built. She would sit down and watch the boat being built all day. When nighttime came and she saw the boat isn't ready yet, she would go back home, sleep. The next morning she would come back again with her bag and sit there from sunrise to sunset, watching Hazrat Nuh building the ark. And day after day she did this. So Hazrat Nuh felt bad because she's been waiting all day, every day. So he went to her and said, "You don't have to come and wait here. When everything is ready, I'll let you know." And she said, "Oh, should I go home then?" He said, "Yes, go home." She said, "Okay, I will go home and I will not leave my home until you come and tell me the boat is ready and now we should go." Then what happened is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the boat was ready and the flood started coming, the flood is said to have come from the home of Hazrat Nuh. That means in Hazrat Nuh's house, there was a little kitchen, and in that kitchen is where Hazrat Nuh's wife would cook food. Now, if you remember, we said that Hazrat Nuh's wife was not a very good person, and she was a disbeliever. And she used to make fun of Hazrat Nuh, and she used to sit with other people and backbite about Hazrat Nuh, how she used to say things like foolish and full of nonsense and believing in things that aren't true. So she made a lot of fun of him. Allah decided that He would have the flood begin from her own kitchen. So when she was in the kitchen, she saw water started to erupt from her oven. Oven is a place of fire, not a place of water. She was very surprised. But the water kept on coming, and it poured out of the house. Then it poured onto the streets. And as it poured onto the streets, it started flooding the whole land. And then the ocean started to rise. And people started running for the mountains. They didn't know where to go. Hazrat Nu's boat was ready, and he was already on the boat along with his few believers. It is said that there were also some animals. He had picked some of the land animals and also put them on his boat so that they would also not drown. After this, what happens is Allah makes Hazrat Nu forget about the lady. It might seem kind of strange, why would Allah make Hazrat Nu forget? But sometimes there is some benefit or some reason for forgetting. So we don't always remember things, and sometimes we forget things, and there may be a reason for it. We know how to have our memory. You remember what you recite when you want to remember things, right? Let me test you a little bit. What did we say is the key to unlocking the door to your memories? Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. MashaAllah. Very good. So Hazrat Nu, maybe, I don't know, I'm sure he recited a lot of salawat, but Allah wanted Hazrat Nu to forget. You'll see at the end of the story why it was important that Hazrat Nu forget about this lady right now. So they get on the boat, the flood comes, the boat is in the water, and everybody who disbelieved now is drowning. And it is said that at that time, even Hazrat Nu's son, one of his sons was a disbeliever, his son was also there. And when Hazrat Nu saw his son, he said to Allah, "O Allah, what of my son? Will he not be among the saved?" And Allah said to Nu that he may be your son, but he is not worthy of being your son because he did not believe in you. Now Hazrat Nu's boat goes up into the ocean and it is sailing in the waters for many days. It is said for 40 days the flood remained, and then the water started to come down, and the land started to become visible again. At this time, Hazrat Nu he goes and reaches the land, and when he reaches the land, he realizes that, uh-oh, I forgot to tell the lady. And Hazrat Nu is very worried now. He says, the lady has been waiting in her home this whole time for me, and I have forgotten to tell her. Now he doesn't know what he's going to find. So he's thinking maybe she's drowned, maybe her house has been demolished. There's probably nothing there now. Everything in the land had been wiped out. So as soon as he lands, people start getting off and they start to look for a place to build their homes. Hazrat Nu rushes back to Kufa. And as he rushes back to Kufa, he notices that everything has been demolished. There's no more homes, no more dwellings, there's nothing. And he gets worried. As he approaches close to where the lady lives, he notices that there's nothing on the land that is intact except for that lady's home. He sees her home is untouched. It's as if the water was never there. Everything's exactly the way it was. He's very surprised. He decides to go and knock on the door. He's not expecting her to be there. He's sure that she must have drowned. So he knocks on the door, and when the door opens, it's the same old lady. And she has her bag in her hand. And she looks at Hazrat Nu, and she says, "Oh Prophet, have you come to take me now? Is it time to get on the boat?" Hazrat Nu says, "No, the boat already set sail. The water already came. The flood came." And she says, "But you didn't call me." He says, "Yes, I'm sorry. It slipped my mind. I didn't call you, but I remembered now and I came back for you." He says, "Didn't you notice there was water everywhere?" She says, "No. I came into the house, I sat down, and I was just waiting for you. Nothing happened. I didn't even hear anything. I didn't see anything, and I didn't leave my home for a couple of months. I've been here waiting for you." So Hazrat Nu says, "Subhanallah." And then as he goes away, he realizes that this lady was saved, even though she wasn't on the boat. So it shows you that during the flood of Hazrat Nu, there were two types of people that were saved. all those that were on the boat, but also the lady who wasn't on the boat. And the lady was saved. It is said in Kamaluddin when this is discussed, and our Imam Jafar as-Sadiq as-salatu was-salamu alayhi. Ma salli ala Muhammad. One more time, all together, salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah. So, what we realize from this in the lesson that we take is that the lady was saved because she was waiting. She was waiting for her prophet. That means at this time as well, there is a safina as well now too. The safina, it is said that Innal Husainu safinatun najat. Hussein is the safina of Najat. That means Imam Hussein is an even more amazing ark than Hazrat Nu's ark. And Hazrat Nu and anyone who was on that ark was saved. Anyone who attaches themselves to Imam Hussein will also be saved. And it also shows you that she was saved because she was waiting for the Savior. The Savior was Hazrat Nu. You at this time also have a Savior, and your Savior is your Imam, the Holy Imam, Imam Hujjat al-Qaim, as-salatu was-salamu alayhi, salawallah, salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So we are waiting for him. So we should learn to wait, just like that old lady was waiting for Hazrat Nu. And how was she waiting? She did nothing but wait. She had her bag ready. Do we have our bag ready? Because when the call comes, we're not going to have time, right? When the call comes, it is said that Zuhur might happen on Ashur, and it may happen on an Ashur that falls on a Friday. And when it happens at that time, there will be a voice that will emanate from the sky. It will be Hazrat Jibreel, and he will announce the coming of our Imam. When he announces the coming of our Imam, at that time, everyone who is a believer in the Imam and who was waiting for him like that lady will then go to Makkah. It is said the Imam will be waiting for his followers in Makkah. The people will gather there, and then from there we will start to follow the Imam, and then his journey will continue to Medina, then going to Iraq, and then many battles will begin. And as all of that is happening, what we have to do, what our mission is, immediately to try and reach the Imam as quick as we can. It is said that if you have faith and belief, you will take one step outside of your door, one step will be in front of your house, and the second step, it will be in front of your Imam. This means that you will miraculously reach your Imam. If we don't, then we need to have a backup plan. Maybe we need to get an airplane ticket to Mecca and try and get there as soon as possible. Maybe we'll need a visa. I don't know what's going to happen. But it is said that hundreds will reach him immediately, and then later, over the upcoming days, thousands, and then eventually hundreds of thousands will reach our Imam. Now, we don't need to have a bag. I don't know what we need to put in our bag. I mean, maybe a tasbih, a sijdiga, maybe some food, but we need to be ready. Even if you don't have a bag with you, it's not important. As soon as you hear the nida of Jibreel, you immediately go to your Imam. Don't worry about packing anything, but be ready. But the readiness of the lady was such that she was always ready. That means that when Hazrat Nu was building the boat, she was waiting outside watching it being built. There's no boat being built, but there is steps that are occurring in the reappearance of our Imam. Signs are happening. Most of the signs have come true. When we want to get ready, how are we getting ready? And we need to be ready all the time. That means if you are sitting here right now, you are listening to what's being said, but you're also ready for the appearance of your Imam. When you are in your car going home, you're riding home, but you're ready for the reappearance of your Imam. When you're sitting at home eating food, sitting in front of the television, lying in bed, in school, doing your homework, playing a game, whatever you're doing, you are always listening for that voice that maybe at any moment your Imam will appear. We do have signs. Yes, it's supposed to be on a Friday, but it doesn't have to be. It can be any time. So that means it could happen today, tomorrow. We have to be ready for every moment. Do you know what it's like to be ready for every moment? How are you ready for at every moment? Have you ever maybe imagine that you're at home and there's some guest who's going to come? Maybe it's a guest you're very excited about. Maybe it's somebody who you love dearly. Maybe it's somebody you haven't seen in many years. Maybe it's someone from your family, a cousin, a friend. Have you ever been excited that somebody is coming to your house? What do? You're always going to the door to check. You might be getting the food ready, helping to set the table, maybe cleaning up the home because they're coming, getting some entertainment ready for them, but you're always running to the door and checking, are they here yet? You come back and sit down. You go again and check, are they here yet? We were just saying that children love to ask this question in the car, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? That question's in your mind all the time, right? Favorite question. All parents have to hear this question. Well, how about, is he here yet? Is he here yet? Is he here yet? Waiting for your Imam in a way that we're wondering, when is he going to appear? When is he going to appear? So that kind of readiness needs to be there. And then we need to have a routine that is revolving around waiting for our Imam. So sometimes we get up in the morning and we pray Fajr namaz. Yes, maybe sometimes. Some of you are very young, but as you reach the age of baligh, when you have to read namaz, then you get up and read namaz. And after namaz Fajr, we're supposed to read Dua Ahad. Dua Ahad is a pledge. You know what a pledge is? A pledge is an oath. An oath is when you say, I swear. I swear and I pledge allegiance and loyalty to the Imam. This is Dua Ahad. That means that when you're reading Dua Ahad, you are pledging loyalty and obedience, allegiance to your Imam. Do you know what loyalty and allegiance means? This means that whatever your Imam commands, you will do. You will obey your Imam, you will never disobey him, and you will always follow him. So, this is a very important part of preparation for your Imam. Then there's a dua that you want to read on Jummah. This is also a dua for your Imam. It is called, anybody know that dua? It is a dua that is named after crying. Because when you read it, you cry for your Imam. It starts with the letter N. Dua nudba, mashallah. You were going to say that, right? I could see it on your face. You know it. It's okay. The answer appears on the face, even if it doesn't come on the tongue. So then you read Du'ai Nudba. Du'ai Nudba and Du'ai Ahad are your two ways to prepare for your Imam. But when you read it, also read the translation because meaning is very important. So this is how we are preparing for Imam. Then what about loyalty to your Imam? How will you show loyalty to your Imam? You will learn loyalty from the most loyal person. There is one person whose being is personified by loyalty. Do you know who that is? He is the one who you say is full of wafa. Who is the one who is full of wafa? Yes, mashallah, Hazrat Abbas. Hazrat Abbas is your ideal. Somebody who you want to copy as much as you can. And what was his loyalty? How did he show loyalty? We say he is very loyal, but what did he do that showed loyalty? He was always looking to see what his Imam wants. He was always watching Imam Hussein and calling him Mawla and waiting to see what Imam wants. Whenever Imam Hussein wanted anything, Hazrat Abbas would rush to get it for him. He would always try to serve him. He would always be looking at Imam Hussein's face. One time, Imam Hussein was thirsty and he wanted water. And he was about to look at Kambar. Hazrat Kambar was the servant of Mawla Ali. He was about to look at Kambar to ask him for some water. But Hazrat Abbas looked at Imam Hussein's face, and Hazrat Abbas was only 5 years old at the time. As soon as he saw my Imam is thirsty, he ran before Kambar could even get up, and got him water. He was always helping the little children. He was always serving and helping the ladies of the Ahlul Bayt. He was always doing what needed to be done. So when we are in Azah, when we are in the month of Muharram and Safar, then we have to copy that loyalty. That means that whenever a majlis is being set, we come and ask, how can we help? Whenever a sabil is there, we say, can we help to serve water? Can we help to lay down the farsh? Can we help to put up the alam? What can we do to help? So Hazrat Abbas is the ultimate helper of Imam Hussein. And our Imam is not directly in front of us right now that we can help him, but we can help the people around, the people who are serving your Imam. And who is serving your Imam? Anybody who is arranging a majlis is serving the Imam. So the best way to help is to help to arrange the majlis. That means you take part in it. You become master of ceremony. You read hadith kissa. You do matam. You read noha. You read salam. This is a nusrat of your Imam. The most important message of your Imam is to Karbala. That means Karbala is what it has saved the religion. Karbala is what has saved the concept of Imamat. And your Imam is keeping Karbala alive by making sure that there are majalis happening everywhere. Nothing that happens is happening out of coincidence. Many of you are born and raised in Canada. But many of your parents were not born and raised in Canada. If you ended up here, is it a coincidence? The Imam is guiding his followers and spreading them throughout the world. That means everyone who is spreading throughout the world. It is said that one time Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Raza as-salatu was-salam alayhi. That was good. Let's have an even better salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah. I think your voice reached all the way up to the heavens and to the arsh, and even the angels heard you. Because the angels are here right now. You know that, right? Do you see them? You don't see them because they're metaphysical. You can't see them with your eyes. But when Hadith Kisa was read, what did it say in Hadith Kisa at the end? You say in Hadith Kisa at the end, and the Holy Messenger says, whenever anybody reads Hadith Kisa, the angels will come down from heaven and they will surround you. And then they will pray for you and for blessings upon you till you are sitting over here where Hadith Kisa was recited. So, therefore, they are here, and they are here in your salawats. Now, we see that our Imam, the eighth Imam, passes by this village, and in that village, there are many disbelievers and many people who do not love the Ahlul Bayt and do not believe in Allah and do not believe in the Ahlul Bayt. And the Imam looks at all of them and he does a dua. And he says, Oh Allah, keep all of these people together in this village, together in a way that they never leave and they always stay together. And then he passes by another village, and there it is filled with the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt. And then your Imam looks at them and says, Oh Allah, spread these people and don't let them remain in one place together. Make them get spread out everywhere. The people who hear him are surprised and they say, Why is it that when it was the disbelievers you said stay united and when it was the believers you said spread out? He said, Because these are the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, and wherever they go, they will spread the message of Allah and the message of the Ahlul Bayt. So you are now a messenger. If your parents have come here and they are lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, then your Imam has guided them here so that you can spread the word of the Ahlul Bayt amongst the people around you. How will you spread the word of the Ahlul Bayt? It is not easy to spread the word of the Ahlul Bayt. One time a man came to our Imam and said, I'm going for tabligh. And he wanted to go and convert people to Islam. And he said to the Imam, Can you give me any advice regarding how I should do tabligh? Your Imam said that go and if you want to do it, then do it without saying one word. Spread the message without saying one word. But the message is spread through words. So how are you going to spread a message? How are you going to tell people to believe in Allah? How are you going to tell people to love the Ahlul Bayt without saying a word? Yes. Subhanallah. You guys already know everything. I don't need to be here. You guys can just talk and listen to each other through actions. MashaAllah. That means that your actions need to be in a way that you spread the word. I teach in college, like that's what I do during the day. And in class, whenever I'm in class, I have a habit. I always give a quote of the Ahlul Bayt in every lesson. One quote. And but I don't say Qala Sadiq. I, I don't say Qala Bakir. I say the wise man said, because I'm teaching health sciences. I teach, health sciences related to human body. So I say a wise man said, and then I give a quote, a hadith. And I do that every day. The wise man said, the wise man said. And I never say who the wise man is. Usually, after 2 to 3 weeks, when there's a new class, somebody will raise their hand and they will say, "Sir, we've been hearing about the wise man says this, the wise man. Who is this wise man?" And as soon as they say that, I say it is none other than Muhammad al Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So, indirectly and through your actions, when you follow the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt, then magnificent things will happen all around you. I've actually had teachers come up to me, other teachers, and they say, "What's your secret?" And I say, "I don't have a secret." They say, "No, no, we don't want to know. We've heard things." And I say, "What have you heard?" "We've heard that in your class, I'm always having trouble with my students. They're always having trouble with their students. They're always having trouble with their students. Why don't you have that trouble with your students? This is always happening there." That's without going into the details of all the fuss that they go through, lots of problems. And they're like, "What do you do?" And I say, "I follow the wise man. That's all I do. There's nothing I do. I just follow his teachings and I implement them with justice in my class and respect and nothing. I don't do anything." And then they say, "Who's the wise man?" And then I tell them who the wise man is. So your actions, when you embody their sayings, that means you have to remember their sayings. How many hadiths do you remember? Do you know that if anybody wakes up on the day of Qiyamah with 40 hadiths remembered, they will wake up as a faqih, Faqih. That is the master of fiqh. Fiqh is the laws of Sharia. That means you wake up as a scholar of Islam. You wake up as one of the ulama of Islam if you remember 40 hadiths. You don't need to, if you go to study and you go for 10 years and you come back and you become a religious scholar and alim, or you spend your whole life studying, that's great. That's even better. But 40 hadiths is not that hard. How long would it take you to memorize 40 hadiths? I mean, do you remember 40 sports people's names? No? Okay, well that's good. You're not filling your mind with useless information. Do you remember? There's probably 40 things that you can remember. You might remember 40 things from school, 40 things from class. If you remember a hadith in a week, and maybe not even in Arabic, just in English, just remember the translation. And remember 40, it'll take you a month, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. After 1 year, you have a degree from the Imam, and he is saying that now you are an alim. And then what happens is you have to implement them as well. So not only do you want to remember a hadith, we need to take that time out. I might spend many, many minutes having food every day. How long do I spend having food? I have my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, my snacks, and everything. A couple of hours spent there, 8 hours spent sleeping, many hours in front of the screen time. Just 5 minutes in the day. 5 minutes, maybe after salat, after you pray, open up one hadith, read it. Next day, read it again. Read it until you remember it. Then what happens is it becomes installed in you and you will start to act upon it. And when you start to act upon it, your actions will become what your imam wants. And when your actions are what your imam wants, people are going to ask you, "Why are you like this? How are you like this?" And you will do it through kindness. You will do it through courtesy. You will do it by helping other people. You will do it with sacrifice. These are words that are important to the Ahlul Bayt. They might not be taught in school as much. In school, are you taught about things like loyalty, honor? courage, sacrifice, selflessness. These are the important lessons of the Ahlul Bayt. It's nice to be strong and fast and quick and funny. More important that, be honest. So we see that we learn from the old lady who was waiting for Hazrat Nu that we too have to wait in that same way. Although you are young, you are followers of the Ahlul Bayt. And when you are followers of the Ahlul Bayt, it comes with great responsibility. And there was a great responsibility upon the little children who were also found in Karbala. And also the two sons of Hazrat Muslim who went with Hazrat Muslim to Kufa. They had to go through many tests and many hardships. Hazrat Muhammad was 8 years old and Hazrat Ibrahim was 7 years old when they accompanied their father and they went from Makkah towards Kufa. It is said that they stayed with their father for many days, for about 6 weeks. But after that, the situation in Kufa changed. And Ibn Ziyad, Lanatullah alayh, became the leader of Kufa and he started spreading his army to hunt for Hazrat Muslim. He knew Hazrat Muslim was the Safir, the ambassador of Imam Hussein, and he knew he had to find him because many people wanted to support Hazrat Muslim and Imam Hussein. It is said that when all the people got scared from the army of Ibn Ziyad and Yazid, then they started to leave Hazrat Muslim. And Hazrat Muslim realized that his supporters were becoming less and less, and he might be martyred any time. It is said that he was in the house of Hazrat Hani at that time. And Hazrat Hani's son, because Hazrat Hani had already been arrested by Ibn Ziyad, Hazrat Hani's son said to Hazrat Muslim that we can put these two children in our neighbor's home. And they will be safe there for a few days. I'll keep an eye on them because our home is going to be raided and they will find your children. And so the two young boys went to the neighbor's home and they were over there. But the neighbor was scared and the neighbor didn't want those two children in his home. So then what he said to those two children was that you have to leave here. And they said, where is our father? And he said, I don't know where your father is. Your father has gone from here. But you must return to Medina. There is a caravan that will leave for Medina and you can get on that caravan and go. He sent his servant, the neighbor's servant or son, took the two boys, Hazrat Muhammad and Ibrahim, and he took them to the gate of Kufa where the caravan was going to be that would carry them to Medina. When they reached the gate, they saw they had reached there too late and the caravan had gone far ahead. At that time, that person who had brought the two boys didn't want any more response. He was scared of having them with him. He wanted to be rid of them. So he said to them, look, in front of you is a caravan. Run to that caravan. If you can catch it, it will take you to your parents. The two 8-year-old and 7-year-old boys, all alone now, started to run towards the caravan. But as they ran, they could not catch up to the caravan, and the caravan had disappeared from their eyes. They got tired and they were alone, and the younger brother looked at the older and said, where is our Baba? He said, I don't know. But he said, there is a tree here. Come, let us rest under the shade. They went to rest under the shade. It is said that while they were resting under that shade, those two little princes of Hazrat Muslim, this army passed by because they were looking for Hazrat Muslim and his two sons. When they saw the two sons and they saw their sweet faces, they knew that these must be the sons of Hazrat Muslim. They immediately arrested those two young boys and they put them in jail. It is said that those two young boys, whenever they would ask anyone, where is our Baba, they would not get an answer, but instead someone would slap them or hit them. They remained quiet and stopped asking questions. For a few days they remained in that jail. But it is said that eventually their father was martyred. 3 days after they were in jail, their father was martyred. They did not know Their father had been already killed. They were still waiting for their father to come to them and take them away from this prison, but no one came. Then one day the young brother said to the older brother, he said, "Oh Muhammad, you know that jailer that comes at night? I've noticed that he has a kind face and he doesn't say any harsh words to us and he brings us food. Maybe we can ask him where our Baba is." It is said that the man's name was Mashkur, and he was a lover of the Ahlul Bayt. He did not know these two were the children of Hazrat Muslim. When he came to the jail at night, they asked him, and they said, "Do you know?" The older brother said, "I will talk to him, don't say anything." Because the older brother was afraid that they might get a slap if they ask anything. So the older brother protected the younger brother and asked him and said, "Have you seen? Do you know who Abu Talib is?" And the man said, "Yes, I know Abu Talib." He said, "Do you know who Aqil is?" He said, "Of course, he is the son of Abu Talib." He said, "Do you know who Muslim is?" He said, "Yes, of course I know who he is. I pledged allegiance to Muslim." He said, "Why are you asking me these questions? I look upon your faces and I can see you are from a noble family." He said, "Please don't tell me that you are the sons of Muslim." They said, "Yes, we are." He immediately said to them that, "I am sorry you have been in jail for this many days. I will protect you. I will have you released from here." And he quickly took them out of the prison. He knew that he would be killed for this. And the next day he was. Ibn Ziyad had him killed for releasing the two children. But he released them. He gave them his ring and said, "Take this." He said, "Just a little farther from here, you will find another town. My brother is there, and he is the governor of that town. Show him my ring, and he will protect you, and he will take you back to your parents." They said, "Where is our Baba?" He said, "Don't ask me about your Baba. He didn't have the heart to tell them that your Baba has already been martyred." It is said that at that time, again, they were hiding, trying to reach that city, when again they were found by a lady. And this lady who found them, she was the servant of a Momina. And as soon as she saw their faces, she said, "Who are you? You look like two princes." And they said, "We are the sons of Muslim." She said, "Come, let me take you to my home." She took those two little boys to her home, and the Momina who lived there fed them. And then she said, "I will protect you and save you, but my husband is an evil man, and he is looking for you, because there is a reward on your heads for 500 dirham, and he is looking for you." She hid them in a room, but unfortunately that evil man Haris came home. When he came home, the two boys were sleeping. But while they were sleeping, they saw their father in a dream. And they saw their father was wounded and he had his arms open. And he said, "Come to me, my princes, I am waiting for you." Immediately they woke up and said, "Baba." As soon as they said this, Haris heard this. And when he heard this, he immediately broke that door down and he found the two he had been looking for. It is said that at that time he took those two. He grabbed those two by their hair and dragged them to the river. And then at the river, he beheaded those two brothers. It is said that he threw one body into the water, and the body of the elder brother was in the water, but it waited. And when the body of the younger brother came, they hugged each other and they went down the river. और उसी नहर के पास एक सियापोश बीबी रोते हुए गिरिया करते हुए कह रही थी, "मेरे दो बच्चों ने तुम्हारा क्या बिगाड़ा था? فسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون لا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين." ماتم حسين.
Now I would like to invite Brother Muhammad Yahya and Brother Muhammad Inshal for Noha. Now I would like to invite Brother Muhammad Yahya and Brother Muhammad Inshal for Noha. Ya Hussein. सर पीटती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, सर पीटती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, क्या पड़ गई है देखिए उस्ताद या अली, क्या पड़ गई है देखिए उस्ताद या अली, बेजुर्म रन में ओन मोहम्मद हुए शहीद, बेजुर्म रन में ओन मोहम्मद हुए शहीद, ज़ैनब गरीब हो गई बर्बाद या अली, ज़ैनब गरीब हो गई बर्बाद या अली, दोनों नवासे आपके खून में नहा गए, दोनों नवासे आपके खून में नहा गए, सर हो गया हुसैन का बर्बाद या अली, सर पीटती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, सर पीटती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, क्या पड़ गई है देखिए उस्ताद या है गैर हाल सानी ज़हरा का देखिए, है गैर हाल सानी ज़हरा का देखिए, आले रसूल करती है फरियाद या अली, आले रसूल करती है फरियाद या अली, सर पीटती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, सर पीटती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, क्या पड़ गई है देखिए उस्ताद या अली, क्या पड़ गई है देखिए उस्ताद या अली, ज़ैनब जिगर फिगार का दिल चाक चाक है, ज़ैनब जिगर फिगार का दिल चाक चाक है, ना शादो ना मुराद है बर्बाद या अली, ना शादो ना मुराद है बर्बाद या अली, सर पीती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, सर पीती है ज़ैनब नाशाद या अली, क्या पड़ गई है देखिए उस्ताद या अली, या हुसैन। Now we'll be having ziyarat. Assalamu alaikum ya Abu Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيعين. السلام عليك ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك جميع شهداء دشت كربلاء خصوصا سيدي ومولاي يا أبو الفضل العباس يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا سلطان يا أبو الحسن يا علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. علمان علمان علمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا إمام زمانه. هذا أجل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم